Good evening, everyone. My name is David Goicoechea, and with the help of my partners, Chase Adams, Austin Buchanan, and Andrew Dayton, we'll present a case analysis of Tata Consulting Services.
All right, hello everybody. My name is Austin. I'm just going to go over the case background of Tata Consulting Services. They are the largest IT service company in India. They are just starting to move into China as they kind of kick off their global expansion. And one of the problems that we notice as they start to move into China is their struggle to meet job demand. They are finding that they are having shortages in engineers as well as mid-level managers. So a lot of the struggles in this case that we discuss are going to kind of come back to those two shortages. So as we start to look into some of the issues that TCS will encounter as they move into China, is the difference in culture. Part of this is just because they're moving to a whole different culture, and a whole different part of the world, and things are just different. So China does things differently than India, and so this is going to present a problem in the sense that China does not have as many managers coming from their colleges as India does. So they're going to have to bring a lot of managers from India. There's going to be a little bit of a culture clash because there's going to be lots of people from India managing a lot of engineers from China. So this will present a little bit of a culture clash. The other problem we discussed ties into that problem is, like I said, the job demand um, is kind of going to overwhelm the supply of people coming into the workforce. Um, so really, there's just going to be a big shortage of jobs in both management and in engineering. They're going to definitely have to respect each other's cultures, and that's going to have to be mandated because it doesn't always happen naturally. They're not really going to be able to just let that run its course. They're going to have to step in and make sure it happens. And so, all of these things changing as rapidly as they're going to just presents the challenge of staying on top of it and not letting it get out of control.
Hello everyone, my name is Andrew Dayton. I will be going over the next few slides with you, and for this slide, I will introduce the three possible solutions to the central issue that TCS is facing. So our group identified three possible solutions. The first one is retaining international managers. The second is hiring instead of recruiting managers. And three is addressing the cultural education of management. For our first solution, we looked at the overall outlook and success of the programs that TCS created to train the international labor force. Some of the flaws that could be remedied to help in the successful retention of said employees, and specific the middle managers, is the difficult upward mobility that they face, the excessively long training periods, and the language barriers just in general. TCS utilizes a learning development team to increase the value of its employees through the creation of learning experiences. These employee training and development programs were widely regarded in India by college graduates and former employees. TCS has spent more than 6% of its general revenue on talent development, and that's annually. Uh, Over the past 3 decades, this team has consistently updated and fine-tuned the training programs for the development of local talent in the field of information technology. This is good starting out going into foreign markets. However, these programs need slight tweaking to more effectively take advantage of that specific nation's cultures and ideals. From the case study that we have read, it does not appear that the tweaks or edits have happened to these programs, and that has kind of had a major issue in the success rate of the retention of these employees. Uh, the other major issue in the training programs is the way the material is taught. The Indian lecturers or professors will come in and teach the class in English to the Chinese students. So the median for communication is a second language to both parties, and this really is not inhibitive of uh, short term growth. That being said, the long term growth is beneficial. However, it takes quite a substantial amount of material and resources, specifically time, uh, which is the issue, and the fact that the retention of these employees is the limiting factor that really keeps the company from expanding while focusing on the cultural development of its international workforce. For solution two, we looked at prioritizing the hiring of managers that are local to the area. It is crucial that the people in charge are understanding of the culture of that specific region. One way to make sure that managers are keenly aware of how customs around them affect employee performance is to find someone that grew up in that background. So in this, we're looking at hiring middle managers or just managers in general that are from that area instead of, like in solution one, the training and implementation of appropriating locals through education. Uh, this would cut down on the cost of bringing in trainers and other people like professors to help in educating uh, the new recruits, so to speak. And that would cut down significantly on cost in the long run, more than likely, because you're not having to continuously uh, bring in new employees. It will have a larger upfront cost because you are having to go out there and bid for services of people that are in a highly competitive market right now. Uh, but yeah, that is the solution number two. This is solution number three. Expansion into another country means dealing with various cultures. A multitude of cultures are encountered not only in the country of origin, but any country that that company is operating within. Uh, as globalization increases, interaction with varying cultures becomes inevitable if the company is looking to expand its operations. To cope with these mitigating challenges, a proposed solution would be to develop a training program that focuses on teaching employees of the cultures in the country in which they operate a better understanding of how people in other countries work and live will help TCS's middle managers from India gain perspective as to how to manage the employees in that specific country. Acknowledgement and respect for culture that managers work within will prevent a sort of culture clash. Even though most middle managers in the Chinese sector are from India, training them in comprehension of Chinese culture will eliminate any division between these two different cultures. As time goes on, however, uh, the increase in Chinese employees will also increase the amount of Chinese middle managers, slowly weeding out the Indian middle managers and them either going on to different sectors within the organization in China or returning back to India or somewhere else globally. And that should wrap up the solution number three.
After looking over our three resolutions, we have decided that the best resolution will be resolution number one. We think that the most time and energy should be placed on working out remedies to solve the problems of the lack of upwards mobility, lack of training, and language barriers. We believe that focusing mostly on these three issues is what's going to chip away at the effects of the labor force shortage the most. Ultimately, in the face of a labor force shortage, it is crucial to retain the ones you have. So, retention is kind of the thing we're looking to combat and overcome the most as we go through with this resolution. Upwards mobility will help motivate employees and they'll set their own personal goals. These goals will be met with an attitude that will strengthen the overall organizational goals and make the company ultimately do better what it set out to do. Intensifying the training will allow workers to have more of a concrete idea of what is acceptable and how to handle different situations. This will lead to them being more comfortable in the workforce, which of course will contribute to a higher retention rate. And then working at decreasing the effects of a language barrier will also strengthen communication and lead to a more efficient environment. In a more efficient environment where people can do what they need without having to worry about things like they shouldn't have to, such as the language barrier, will also contribute to them being more comfortable because there won't be much question. They'll just know what to do and they'll be able to do it.